Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, coming at you with a series of video presentations that I'm doing based off of the Murox HTML4 and CSS3 4th edition textbook. This textbook is one of two that's being used for the Rankin Technical College AWD, Application Web Development 1000 class. That's Web Development Technologies. I have been going through from this book. Let's see, do I have it up here? Here. There we go. So far I've done all of the chapters in section 1. I'm putting off section 2. We'll get to that when we get to that. For chapter 3 I've done chapters 11, 12, 13, 14, and I'm about to do 15. Alright, tomorrow I hope to do 16, 17, and 18. Then I will have left 19 and 20 and then go back and do 9 and 10. And after I get done with that, then I will start on the other Murox textbook. So if I come through here just to show you this, and I'm not trying to waste my time, definitely I'm not trying to waste your time, but that'll be the JavaScript and jQuery book. That is right here. And when we get to that, you'll notice that that one has 18 chapters. Right? So we will go through all of those as well. Alright, so onward and upward. Today we're talking about how to work with fonts and printing. A fairly short lecture. So taking it from the top. Alright, we'll talk about Google Fonts, using the media print selector, adding an additional style sheet for print. Alright. Describe the way you format a page for printing and why some of this stuff is important. Alright. So here they've brought in a different font and they show you how you can do this. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing this. But what I want to show you is this. I'm going to come in and I'm going to go back to what I've been using here. All right, but what I'm going to do is this is just going to be on fonts and printing. All right, and as I've done before, I'm just going to go and I'm going to comment out everything I've got in here. So right now, again, if I come in here and I run this, that's all you see, and that's what I want. All right, I'm going to get rid of this stuff. But what I'm going to do, and it's going to look a little strange at first, but hopefully it'll make sense in a few minutes, is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go out to what's called lipsum.org, and that's going to allow me to grab, I'm going to grab 5 paragraphs of just some garbage text, filler text, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so let me bring that in here. I'm going to put it right here. All right. Now, this is going to look ugly, stupid, or whatever for just a couple minutes. But again, if you'll bear with me, you'll understand what I'm doing and why I'm trying to do it here. So what I'm trying to do quickly, and I'm not doing it very quickly, is to go in and add my tags. All right. There's actually, as always, a method to all my madness here, if you'll just bear with me for a minute. Okay. So if I run this, I've got 5 paragraphs. Doesn't look very nice, but this is what I want to show you. I want to go out to, I want to find Google Fonts. What Google Fonts is they are fonts that are made available by Google. All right, the last time I checked, there were like 854. Now it's 915. All right, and I want to grab something that looks quite a bit different. This kind of stuck out, and it's called Quali or something like that. But I'm going to click the plus sign here that says, hey, if you want to use this, what you have to do is you have to first add this link. You have to add that link to the top of your screen. And I want to put that right before we have our adding of our own CSS. Okay? So there's our own CSS. So I'm going to add that right there. That brings in Google Fonts, and in particular, that particular font. All right? So that's one thing. I'm not done yet. I have to do one more thing. And that is, again, if I go back to the site, we want to add font family, and we want to tell it to add this one. All right? So I'm going to come in into my style tag here that is all commented out. Okay, I'm just going to add in here this font family, and I'm telling it to use that Z-Cool Kaoli, and if for some reason you can't find it, use cursive. All right? So why am I showing you that? So let's go back to here, and I'm going to refresh and watch how it changes. Now that should be pretty obvious. That's a really dramatic change. But what I wanted to show you is how easy it is to go out to Google Fonts, grab a font that you like out there, bring it in. Now I didn't have to use it for the entire document as I've done here. I could have done it just for my headings. I could have brought in more than one Google font. In fact, my friend Tom, and I've shown you this before, where I've had a student who created this site. Tom wanted a certain font for his headings, all right, and he wanted another font for his print. So if I go through here and I do a view page source and I go back up to the top, what you're going to notice is somewhere in here, and I don't know where it is, but there will be Google fonts that are in here. All right. All right, I don't want to get too far off topic, so let's just jump back in. Where to find fonts on your computer. So these are all the ones you have. How to import a font. Okay, what I showed you I think is much easier than what they showed right here. So I showed you the Google Fonts website, fonts.google.com. You can pick any of those 915 fonts. You can pick several of them. For every one, there will be a link statement you'll have to add in. For every one, there will be some kind of a CSS statement you have to add. Just be leery. You saw the font that I just showed you. All right. And some of these fonts look great. Some of them don't. The one I showed you didn't really look very good. Some will look good for headings and not for text. Some might look good for text, but not that good for headings. Some of them also don't play well together. So if you have two different fonts, one that you use for text and one that you use for headings, you know, paragraph text versus headings, make sure they look nice together. Adobe also has fonts. All right, here's an example. All right. So let's talk about linking elements for screen and for print styles. If somebody decides, I'm going to show you this as an example. All right, the website that I just showed you a minute ago that was done for my friend Tom. If somebody decides they want to come in here and print this out, I thought it would maybe show me a print page, but it looks like it's not going to. No, it's not. But what's going to happen? Think about this. If I decide I'm going to print this out, what do I want to see? Okay, if I print out all those pictures, or I print out all the pictures, all these pictures, etc. First of all, the things in color. So if I'm using a color printer, I might be wasting a lot. This wouldn't be too bad. Do I really need it to be green and white? No. Do I really need this business card? Do I really need these menus? And the answer to all this is no. I just want all the stuff that's in the middle. I probably don't even want the pictures. All right? I just want that stuff. So if you come in here and you decide that you're going to create your own style sheet just for printing, and you can have more than one if you need them, but you put media equal print. And then you have to decide. For instance, notice in the body, we changed to a very simple type of font type. We just changed to Times New Roman. All right? So again, the idea is, and this is why they give these recommendations here, Change the text color to black and the background color to white. The idea is you're printing just so you can see the content, and by and large just the written content that's on the page. Change the text other than the headings to a serif font to make it easier, because serifs, sans serifs typically look nicer on the screen. Serifs typically look nicer when you print it out. Use a base font size that's easy to read when it's printed. Remember, some people have 62-year-old eyes like me, and the bigger the print, the better. Keep the line length to 65 characters or fewer. You want some margin on the left and the right. Remove site navigation. You're not using it anyway. Remove as many images as possible, especially animated images. So, saying image display none. All right. And H1's H2, it says page break after. It says try not to make these, try not to have a page break after these, because then the content would be on the next page from the heading. All right. So here's a page with 2 columns, but that's what you're going to want to print. And to be honest with you, did you even need, when you look here, we probably didn't even need the logo. We may or may not have needed the picture. But you can see when you look at this, this is going to take a lot more ink to print than this is. All right? All right. So when you put this in, as it says, you'll use media equal print. All right. Notice again, the navigation menu and the sidebar in this case. So this navigation menu and this sidebar are not printed. The headings, text, and borders were all set to black. The article is wider than it would be otherwise. The font for the text has been changed to a serif, so it's easier to read. So here would be the style sheet for the printed page. All right. And again, many people, when they read and hear stuff like this, they go, I don't even have to worry about this. But you never know, someone else may end up wanting to print out your page. And there may be a very valid reason for it. You may end up wanting to print out the content for your page, so you can scan through it. Sometimes it's easier for people to read a hard copy than it is an e-copy, etc. So that was just an introduction to this. All right. It really and truly, as you saw, didn't take very long. All right. Okay, so this didn't take very long. And what are we talking about here? 13 minutes. So when I come back again with the next chapter, we will be going over chapter 16, which is a little bit more complex. It's on how to use CSS transitions, transforms, animations, and filters. And amongst other things, what that will do is that will allow you to add some pizzazz, so to speak, to, especially to your images, all right, that you use on your web page. So I'll be back with that shortly.